Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Talibah Zues once again, and the topic for today is sigil magic. So let's begin creating our sigil. Now, just so you know, big question I get asked a lot of times: what is a sigil? Sigil is a symbol or a logo. Logo comes from the Greek word logos, which means to create, or the word of God. And hence, when you read the Bible and it talks about how God created the world, it states in there, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So he spoke it into creation, the word of God. All corporations use logos. Of course, it represents the company, but logos, symbols, etc., what they do is they speak to the subconscious mind. So they bypass the conscious mind, speak directly to the subconscious mind. So you can embed commands. You can embed commands and instructions into the subconscious mind without having to have the trouble of having to bypass the conscious mind, because it does it anyway. And that's what makes these so powerful. So rather than getting into all that right now, you can look this up. I'll probably do a video on this as well. What I want to do is just go into how to create it. Now, when you have a dream, you dream in symbols. Again, communication to the subconscious mind. So, do your dreams mean something? Yes, they do. They're a way of communicating through symbology. And symbolism is a lost language. Again, we won't go into that right now. What we'll do is go into how to create a sigil. So, let's press on. I want to make this video quick so you can actually go ahead and start doing this. Step one is our statement of intent. We must have a statement of intent initially, because that's the instruction we're going to give to our subconscious mind. So, you start your statement of intent with, "It is my will." It is my will that I'm going to have X, Y, Z, or whatever it is. Now, when you do the first one, I recommend you start with something simple, something that doesn't mean much to you. So for the purpose of this one here, I'm going to use something really simple, such as, "It is my will to see a red bag on the bus." Pretty straightforward. When you do yours, maybe use something like, "It is my will that my boss buys me a cup of coffee," something like that, you know? So we've got a statement of intent, nice and simple. Once your whatever it is that desire that you want manifest, you'll know that it works. You'll see that the method that you use works, and you can simply repeat it for something that you really want in this life, and start bending reality to your will a bit more. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to use this. Once we've got our statement of intent, step two is we get rid of all the vowels. So all the vowels are gone. So we don't need this within our sigil. Now, I've seen some people create sigils whereby they keep this in. Personally, I don't, so get rid of all the vowels. Once we've got rid of all the vowels, we move on to step three and we get rid of all the repeating letters. So we begin with the first one, T. There's two T's, we get rid of those. We know there's two more S's, we get rid of those, but we leave the original letter. There's only one M, one Y, one W, there's two L's, there's only one R, one D, there's two B's, there's only one G, one N, one H. Once we've got those, we take those letters away. What we're left with is what we're going to use to create our sigil. So step four is to design our sigil. Let's begin the design of our sigil. And this is the fun part, the creative process. There's no real rules to this. You can do it however you want to do it, however you feel is going to work for you best. It's your call. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to start from the left-hand side, and I'm going to use each letter in order. You can start from the right-hand side, center. It's your call. So, first of all, the T. I draw a T in, I cross out the T at the bottom, so I know I've used it. Now I'm going to put an S in there, so I'll put it in the center, cross that out. Now I'm going to do an M, I'll put it at the top, and then I'll cross it out here. Now I'm going to do a W, but I'm not going to draw another W, I'm going to use the M that's there as an upside down W. There's no point drawing it in another W. And the reason why I do that, it's a bit of a fast track process, because the mind doesn't need to see, subconscious mind doesn't need to have another W there if there's already that shape there. So next one's the Y. So I'll put the Y here upside down. There's already an L there, so I'll use what's there, as you can see here. An R, I'm going to use what's there and join on to my sigil to put an R in there. Same with the D. Same with the B. With my G, rather than trying to add it on there, it's looking messy already, I'm going to put it at the side. So we put it there at the side of the sigil. Cross that out. Now my N, and now my H. So I did this pretty quickly. By all means, when you do this, you're going to take your time a little bit more. By all means, watch the video. Pause it as you go along or slow it down. It's totally up to you. So you can see how to create yours. Once you've done that, we're now going to encapsulate it within a circle. So I always put my sigils in the circle. There's a few things that it does. Circle, again, symbols, communicates with the subconscious mind. There's something magical about circles. You've heard of the magic circle and so forth. In rituals, they use circles. And also, by having a circle, it allows you to focus in on that image. When it comes to charging our sigil, we're going to need to focus in on that image. So now we've got that, what we're going to do is we're going to tidy it up. And we can see the center right now looks a bit of a mess. But the rest of it I'm quite happy with. So I'm going to tidy up the center. Now, if we simply bend, if we look at the center and bend the top of it down a bit and then close the gap, what we have is a figure 8. So what I'll do is I'll place a figure 8 in there. And that's more tidy. And something else I'm going to do here is, I said we'll put the G at the side for now. Now we can look to add the G in, but I quite like the way it is. But I don't like at the moment the other side being blank. And because we've got total creative control here, I'm going to add another G back to front on the other side. Again, this is your sigil. You create it however you want, whatever works for you. So now we've got our sigil. Next thing we need to do is we need to forget it. We need to forget about that statement of intent. The best way to do it, first of all, is to create more and to hide it. So I always recommend having 2 or 3 sigils at a time. I always have 2 or 3 sigils at a time that I create. Then I go ahead and hide them. And now I've got so many sigils, as soon as I create a sigil, it doesn't take long before I forget what that sigil is. But at the same time, I still hide it. And I usually recommend hiding it for about a week. So I'll put it inside a book or something. And then after a week, I'll bring it out and I'll look to charge it. So step 6 is to charge our sigil, to give life to it. So there's various steps we can use. The first one, most common one, is sex. It's masturbation or sex with a partner. Those are 2 forms that you can use to charge a sigil. And what you do is, at the point of orgasm is where you stare at your sigil. Now for me, I don't want to sit there looking at my sigil and masturbating and then have an orgasm, because it's just not going to get me aroused. But it may do for you, I don't know. Now some say, well, what you can do is simply look at you know, like a man and woman having sex or something, and then at the point of orgasm, stare at your sigil. I don't see any reason why you can't do that. So again, that's one way to do it, and probably the most fun for a lot of people. The other way is asphyxiation. If you're going to use asphyxiation, what I would say to do, what I'd recommend is maybe do something like a headstand, or another one is to do really short, fast breaths until you get lightheaded. When you become lightheaded, then stare at your sigil. And it only takes a second actually to charge your sigil. That's all you really need. But then stare at your sigil. And when you stare at your sigil, you want to envision it glowing and coming to life, and then going out to the universe. Another one is meditation. This is just staring at your sigil. Just sit there still and just stare at your sigil, meditating your sigil. This is actually pretty good. I think like you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because meditation is a really good act to do for many reasons. And I'll do another video on meditation a bit later on. Right now, for now, these are simply various ways that you can do this. You don't do each one. You just do one of them. Pick one that you like. Another one is exhaustion. So when it comes to exhaustion, for example, doing a circuit, like a training circuit, where it's going to exhaust your body, be it with weights, body weight, kettlebells, whatever you want to use. And at that point, or even do sprints. Sprints are quite good. If you sprint at the point that you become exhausted and you just want to collapse on the floor, that point there, you stare at your sigil. And by doing that, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's quite an exciting way to do that as well. I say exciting in the sense that what it does, it allows you to obviously exercise your body and at the same time charge your sigil. Fear is another way. So for example, if you was watching a horror movie and something jumped out at you and you jumped, at that point in time there, that's a good time to charge your sigil. And laughter, hysterical laughter, where you're just laughing hysterically and you can't help it, that's a good point to start your sigil and charge it there as well. Now, the fear and laughter I know is a bit more difficult, because how many times does it happen where you have that? I know Grant Morrison, he drew a sigil on his chest, did a bungee jump, and stared at his sigil then and charged it that way. We're not going to go and bungee jump every single day. So probably, you know, the other four are probably the more easiest way of doing it. Once you've done that, step 7 is to destroy the sigil. Destroy it. And you can do this, and when we destroy it, what we're doing is basically sending it out to the universe. Now, we can do this by either setting it on fire. If you do choose this particular technique, please be careful. Put it in a pot or something, and then light it. So you can set it on fire. You can flush it down the toilet, or throw it in the river. You can bury it, or something I saw on Sacred Grove's channel. To find Sacred Grove's channel, you want to look up Freak Phil. He's pretty good. He's got some good stuff out there on magic, and I like his stuff. And what he did is he drew a sigil in the sand, then the tides come and take it away, which is pretty cool. So you can do that. Now, the other thing as well about sigils is, when it comes to creating a sigil, there's sigils out there that don't always get destroyed. So we know corporations use sigils, and they have them on display all the time. There's messages hidden. You know, it's like McDonald's and Nike and, you know, Mercedes and so forth. You know, they all have symbols in there, sigils in there. And they don't destroy theirs. They leave them on display for everybody to see. So everybody's been programmed by these sigils from these corporations. And that's why I like to do sigils, because what you're doing is now you're using some way to take control and program yourself, as opposed to let everything else around you do that for you. Which is one of the reasons I don't watch television, because I don't want to be put in an alpha state and then hypnotized with their crap. So I like to choose what it is I want to watch, and I watch it consciously as well. So I don't, so I'm not just being embedded with commands. But if you want to know more about that, by the way, watch the video I did on subconscious and conscious mind. But my point I want to make here is, you can put your sigil on display as opposed to destroy it. So when you put something on display, you see it all the time. Your conscious mind stops really noticing it. It becomes part of the furniture, kind of blends in, and you take that command to your subconscious mind. That's another thing that you can do as well. So these are just various forms. So what you can do is experiment with one of them, see how it works out. If it doesn't work out, experiment with another one, then another one, then another one. When you get the one that works for you, voila, you now have a strategy you can use. And that's how you create a sigil and use Sigil Magick, charge it, etc. in a step-by-step method and manner. Hope you've enjoyed it. Go ahead and try it out. Have fun with it. If you do date your sigil, which I recommend you do, what I would say is, when you use the numbers, make sure you write them out in written format. So when you write a 5, for example, it's F-I-V-E, not the number 5 only. Make sure it's something that does have a physical path of manifestation within to this physical reality, and something that you can believe in as well. So, for example, you wouldn't do a sigil saying, "It is my will that I'm going to leap from the ground floor to the top of a 10-story building," because no matter how much you practice, it's not physically possible within this physical realm. Other than that, there's not really too much more to this. If you do have any questions, anything you're not sure of, I know when I first did my first sigil, I had a ton of questions. By all means, ask. Hit me up on Facebook also. The link's below. Ask your questions. Keep your questions coming. As I say, I will be doing Q&A videos as well. Thank you once again for listening. It's been a pleasure making these videos for you guys. And till the next time, please like, subscribe, share. Peace out, and God bless.